Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I couldn't hear nothing y'all was saying.
We wasn't saying anything.
Oh, well, yeah, I was. I was saying that it's Tuesday, we don't record.
Yeah, I heard you.
All right, so let me stop recording. All right, guys. I was looking for the hush, please. I was looking for let's just go look at it. For the Dow Jones to do what it promised that it was supposed to do.
All I can see is gold.
Hold up. All right, let's look at the dirty. Yeah, it looks good. All right. Okay, let me go back here. So today they kicked your boy out the they put him out, they put the House Speaker out the pasture. So I think we're gonna get that good sellout. I think we won't get another bill passed to keep the government open. So I don't know how long that this temporary bill keeps the government open. But I think it'll be the last one. And I think the government will shut down. And then I think we will really see a sell-off in the stocks.
Sorry.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
What I don't understand. What are you talking about? Have I missed something?
Yeah, you did, but it's fine. Just Google House Speaker. And, you'll read everything from there.
Okay.
There's basically two parties in the United States.
Google what, Todd? What'd you say?
Exactly. What happened?
Google House Speaker. Right? There's two parties of the United States government, right? Everybody tracking?
What is it? Not Congress? Democrats and
Yeah. Democrats and Republicans. And really it's just rich and poor. But it's Democrats, Republicans. That's what they use to keep the country divided. And then you get poor people arguing with other poor people about things that don't matter. So basically you had the Republican Party, which was the party that's not in power right now as far as presidential power. Since they are not in power, they have a Speaker of the House, somebody who represents them in the House of Representatives. Mm-hmm. His name was Kevin McCarthy. Mm-hmm. They kicked him out today. They fired him because they want somebody who's more hardline, who's not going to negotiate as much. So now all of the issues will probably come down to whether you're Democrat or Republican. And so you'll have stalemates, you'll have government closures, so on and so forth, It's real funny because they tax us and we pay their salary. They vote on their salary. They approve their own salaries. We don't approve it, but we pay it. And then they go to work. They have sex with the little boys. They sex traffic little boys, and then they don't do their jobs. Their only job is to legislate. Their only job is to come up with a budget to keep America running, and they fail over and over, time and time again. Doesn't matter which party, Democrat, Republican, none of those fuckers do their job. They don't pass the budget. So, we're just going with this madness over and over, and they're going to tank the market.
So, yeah, so how is this affecting the market?
Well, it will affect the market. You're going to see the credit rating take a dump. Trust me. You just wait and see. You'll see a lot of shenanigans.
But what signals am I looking for in terms of language?
Are you looking for the US 30 to start tanking?
Yeah, if you think about it, right? The dollar's in demand is pressing resistance, right? Okay, we got that. We got the fact that they're not printing. We got that. They can't pass the budget. It's all money issue related.
So whenever they can't pay bills, go ahead.
What budget are they talking about? Sorry.
The government budget.
The budget of the world, like, is the most important thing we're paying attention to.
Oh,
all right, so let me continue, right? Everything's adding up. When the interest rates are up, people can't borrow money.
Mm-hmm.
So not only can you not do that, you don't have enough money because you're supposed to be getting it from the government. They're not doing that right now. So everybody's tight. So now where are you going to spend that money? You can only spend it if you have to. And you have to let the interest rates come down. This is a whole cycle. This is just beginning. That's what's special about it. Because if this crashes, we all have an opportunity to buy this last dip. It's a dip that you're never going to see again. It's a low position where you can buy and never be in the negative.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that the less money that is available in the market to give.
Everyone's waiting for money to be printed.
Yeah. So then the less money you have, more scarce it is. So that means there's no.
Well, remember.
Yeah, states.
When they get the money again, where is it going to go? It's going to go into the market, right? So this is the big fiasco we're having right now because everybody wants to get in, but they're not getting the money that they're accustomed to getting. When this hits the bottom, they're not going to have the money to do it. That's how people are going to miss. We know how to read the chart, so we're going to have a real clear advantage here. Okay. There are people that don't know how to read charts, and they're going to miss it. First of all, they're going to miss the bottom. They're going to find out that it's bullish, and then on the pullback, it's already going to be so high that they're going to be catching their first entry when, let's say, Bitcoin's at like 50K already, and then gold is at like 2,000, 2,100 already. They're figuring it out. We can catch it at the bottom.
So these policymakers, Democrats, Republicans, the government hasn't got enough money to enforce or to put budgets behind certain policies, like say funding for a school playground or something. They've had to cut certain budgets, and
it's a combination between ignorance and stupidity. Some of it is by stupidity, and some of it is because they're doing it on purpose. It's market manipulation.
Yeah, I say that's all by design, honestly.
Yes, absolutely. The
They're
ones who are in power, they know how this works. They're making money from both ends of the spectrum. They'll never lose. So now they play puppeteer.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, we pay their salaries, but they're making
Yeah.
markets. Like Nancy Pelosi, oof, that is a rich woman.
They're
Mhm.
all rich, guys. It's rich against the poor. They're all rich.
Yep. And the way that we play these targets and on our charts and everything, that's how the world moves. Once you get into the wave of that, you're in. There's no way you can really fail.
Okay,
You're
so what
catching the low right now. In 20 years, you go up there and catch the high. And then you'll have both ends of it. It's crazy.
so the Democrats and Republicans are fighting for the government to print more money. Is that what you're saying?
They argue about a whole bunch of different
Yeah,
things,
they're
man. I
fighting
don't
for
even care.
control.
Because I was getting confused between the budget and the other thing. But
Well,
what's the other
whoever's-
thing that we're talking about this year? The debt ceiling. I was
So listen,
getting
whoever's in control controls the purse strings. The budget and the debt are they're directly connected. The Republicans believe in running the government one way, right? They want to cut all the social programs. And the Democrats believe in running the government another way. They want to support the social programs and cut military and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter what side of the fence that you fall on, right? You know, it doesn't matter what you believe. If you cut all the social programs, your crime goes through the roof, right? It'll be smash and grabs at your crib. If you cut all the military, then we can't go steal the resources we need from these other countries. Because that's basically what it boils down to. So
That's funny.
you just kind of pick your poison. Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of the truth, you know, like we was down in Panama when the Panama Canal was what we needed. And we eventually invaded the country and took it over. We gave it back, but you know, we just we took what we needed. Whenever a country has something that we need, you know, oil in the Middle East, we will go fire it up. If the country does not have something that we need, we ain't going. So
okay. One last question. What social programs? You mean like police or playgrounds or like schools?
well, when the Republican Party talks about social programs, they're talking about the social welfare programs, whether it's feeding hungry kids after school, whether it's giving food stamps to needy families, a plethora of things, right? It's, you know, there is no right answer, right? The right answer is probably somewhere in the middle. If you don't shell out the money, then those people become desperate. I mean, it's kind of like not feeding a pack of wolves and expecting them to live in your house and be reasonable. It's just not going to happen, you know? Eventually those pack of wolves turn on you. And you know, it's really the very reason, if all of us, like, let's just say forex was a very common thing in America, and we could all grow up and learn forex, and we could all make as much money as we wanted to, who would work at McDonald's, Target, Walmart? Who would work at any job? Then you would have a society that they had to fly in immigrants to work all these jobs, right? Who would need the government? I don't need a policeman. I buy the policeman. I don't need a government. So if you don't have a need, if you're rich and you don't have a need for governance, governance is for poor people. It's not for rich people. That's why they can have child porn rings. That's why they can do whatever they want, because they're above the law. They create the law. They buy and put in place police chiefs. They buy their freedom. So if you have a society full of rich people, nobody needs the law. and then you don't have a law, so you kind of have to create a need for hierarchy, right? Just think, we all grew up in our parents' house. At some point, we started making our own money. We don't need our parents. So I'm not going to stay in my parents' house and listen to her rules or his rules. I'm getting my own place and I'm doing what the heck I want to do. It's the same. Same with the way you are as a person. Eventually, you're gonna listen to your boss. You're gonna go to work. You're gonna go to that 9 to 5 while they're paying you. But when forex starts paying you triple and quadruple what you're making on that 9 to 5, you ain't going to work no more. And there's some laws you're just not going to follow. So anyway, we kind of got on a tangent, but it's the truth, So when you start seeing these puppet moves that happen in the government, and then you start looking at these charts and understanding, where we are in the grand scheme of things, y'all know where the dollar is crazy high right now. Like nobody in the world can pay their debt, not even us. We can't pay our debt with the dollar this high. Well, how many weeks did we say that we was on 11 weeks last week?
Yeah, I think it's either the 11th week or the 12th week. It
This
should
is the
break
12th
down.
week right here, right? If this doesn't give ground, this is 12 weeks in a row. Man,
I think that's a record. It's tied for the record.
Yeah, the dollar has the world over. Everybody been over. Everybody in the world has been and the dollar is all up in handling business.
I heard something today about the students have to start paying back their student loans as well this quarter.
Well, yeah. That's debt. Listen, some people are going to pay and some people aren't. That's how it works.
Wait a minute. I thought the kids was off limits.
Exactly. No, them kids, they about to get that money back. So
Todd, question real quick. So what we were saying, like, we don't really know how long the government's going to be able to stay open. But if they do go into a shutdown, you think that's like, why would you think that's going to trigger a sell-off in the indices?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Sorry, can I ask, what is a shutdown of the government? Can you just
every government office closes except for essential offices, but nobody gets paid. So
they take a break, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you work for the federal government, the Department of whatever, you don't come to work. There's no budget for you. You're not going to get a paycheck. Now they'll make the essential people come to work for free, and then they'll back pay them once they get a budget approved. So this is the problem with not having a budget approved. The GAO office, the Government Accountability Office, that's the office that pays the bills. It pays whatever bills are out there. The U.S. government has debt the same way you have debt. And every month you get the same email that I get to say, hey, man, your credit card bill is due on the 5th or on the 8th or whenever, right? Well, if the government is shut down, that bill ain't getting paid. And when that bill doesn't get paid, you get those credit rating agencies that downgrade your status. When your status is downgraded, you have to pay a higher interest rate for your loans. The same way that we do as individuals, the countries have to do it too. So do y'all remember when that agency came and downgraded us from a AAA to whatever?
This is the result. We're heading into the results of that.
I think y'all be sleepwalking sometimes.
Man, come on.
What agency?
Come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait, I missed that. Who came and graded?
That's what I'm saying. Y'all missing everything.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so there's someone that comes and grades each country or just America?
Every country.
What?
It grades them on what exactly? What are they grading them on?
Oh, credit.
Sweet baby
I
Jesus.
thought it was like, never mind.
They're graded on their ability to pay back debt because everyone owes.
Y'all
Oh.
read this. Read this. This is August 7th. So do y'all understand what we are seeing play out in our faces? Y'all don't sleep on what you're looking at, because you need to understand how this relates to the markets, because you're going to see this again.
Right.
This happens in cycles. That government, the way that the government gets along, whenever I was a kid, it was never, ever this much politics.
Yep.
You know, it might have been politics during the election, but after that, everybody was united, right? They went to work, they came up with a budget. Hey, you know, if OG was a Republican and I was a Democrat, we'd argue. I'd call, you know, his sister weak and his mama ugly. And then we'd come and we both make concessions. Probably he would get his way more than I would get my way because he was in power. But we'd come up with a budget and we sign that budget and it would go into the next election. We do this every year until the new president gets elected. Now, we've not had an approved budget in years. It's never done when it's supposed to be done. It's always, hey, man, we got to shut the government down. Hey, I threatened to shut the government down. All overplaying politics. Meanwhile, the debt ceiling, y'all know what the debt ceiling is?
Yes.
What is
Yeah, sorry.
what is the debt ceiling?
The amount of debt that the US has. Is that the US government or the US has?
It's the same thing. The US is the US government. So it's the amount of debt that we carry. So what this says is it's basically saying that every year we run up against our credit limit. And instead of paying the credit card off, we just raise the limit. Wouldn't it be nice if you get your personal credit card and the bill came to the house, you'd be like, you know what? Let me double what my limit is. Instead of having a $1,000 credit card, now I got a $2,000. And once you run that other $1,000 up, you like, all right, let me just double it again. Now I got a $4,000 credit card.
But sorry, Todd, do you know when you have a credit card and then you can't pay it back, and then your credit score technically, like, obviously goes down because you're in
like this right here.
Yeah. So the US government is in they've got a bad credit rating at the moment. So when you have a bad credit rating, you shouldn't be able to borrow more money.
Well, yeah, you're right, except for the US government is who everybody borrows the money from. Our printing press.
I thought they borrow it from the Fed, or they print it.
But the Fed is the US government.
I thought Fed Chip Out always says he's not part of the government. He's not part of politics.
Crap. He was the president is the one that hired him. What do you mean?
Yeah, they're all connected.
He doesn't have a job without Biden.
So this is good. This is good to have the conversation because it needs to be clear. If you're clear on this, then it starts making more sense of what's going on here. And mind you, when it shuts down, whatever the market is doing at that time, that's what it's going to continue to do. So if it's pressing in a downward direction, it's probably going to keep going, right? And then they flip it and come and save the day. So it hits a bottom, and then they cut the interest rates or whatever it is that they do, print some money to get the dollar to drop and get the market to come off the floor. That's what they do.
So here, I think that once they shut down, the dollar is going to drop and the indices are going to drop. Everybody's just going to buy gold.
That's interesting.
Because the dollar is not going to be trusted at that point.
Like,
So
in the scenario, everybody
happen,
that
right?
believes when the dollar drops that everything's supposed to be going up, this flips that whole thing.
Yeah.
What
That
Now,
about
and nobody knows what to do because they don't know what to do anymore, right? Everything is heading in the downward direction. And we've never, as traders, we've never seen that. We're about to see it.
and gold is going to get here and turn around. The dollar is going to turn around, gold is going to turn around. And the indices is going to keep heading down.
so what
So
about
there-
the bond market?
Mm.
You said, what
Because
about
if
the
we
bond
have
market?
the bond, yeah, because if we have such a horrible rating, like if it keeps going down, like people are still buying bonds, you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, it's like this. You know that the government is going to eventually pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
So if you have this windfall of money, you have to put it somewhere. So if I'm a billionaire and my name is not Sam Bankman-Fried, I don't want to lose like $16 billion overnight. I want to take the majority of that money and put it in something that's secure and that's going to gain me some interest. It doesn't have to be the top level of interest. So I just go buy bonds because it's guaranteed to give me some payout. And it's guaranteed that I'm not just going to lose my money like Sam Bankman-Fried dumbass did. How do you lose $16 billion in 3 days? Bruh. That's why you buy bonds. You know, like it's called diversification. If we all have money, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried kept his money in his wallet, and he went out and he binged one night and had a bad night, so he spent all the money in his wallet. But if you're the person that took your money out your wallet and put it in your savings account, and you don't have a card to get to that money in your savings account, at least when you binge, you're going to spend the money in your wallet, but when you wake up, you'll have the money in your bank account. That's what bonds are. Because when you buy a bond, it doesn't mature until a certain date.
Mhm.
Whether it's 10 years, 30 years, whatever, you know, 5 years, 2 years.
So I have two questions. The first one, back to the government shutdown, does that mean, I mean, is there a date for it that they're thinking?
Yeah, I don't, yeah, there is a date, but I don't know, you know, because I'm not on it like that. But I'll just Google the date because does anybody know? Have you been following it, OG?
The
Well,
date
I
of what?
mean, it's probably going to be revisited every month until the end of the year.
Yeah, is it okay? Yeah, I didn't know if it was a month or what, you know, as far as.
Well, we know it's government stuff, so it's a quarterly thing.
But yeah, let me see if they posted.
But isn't elections next year for you guys?
Yeah, elections are next year, but they don't have any bearing on this particular deal.
Okay.
So when does this bill in 44 days about all begin?
So
when
my
does
next question is still that what you just, well, I forgot my question. Go ahead.
You're funny, Ophi.
I'll say something when I remember.
So
Oh,
okay,
no.
so they're supposed to raise interest rates like at least one more time this year. So isn't that like a form of the government getting more funding, is raising interest rates?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, that will give the GAO office more income, but we owe more than coming in. We got to pay our own bills.
Yeah.
So that's not going to help pay the interest on the money that we owe.
Okay, I remember my question. So a bond is like a loan to the government, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And then US gave what? So and so many millions to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
50 billion.
And
Jeez.
I'm wondering, like, where's that money coming from when they can't even pay their own bills? Like, what?
They printed the 1.7 trillion at the end of last year, and the 50 billion they gave to Ukraine came out of the 1.7 trillion.
That's why they have to always up their
Not even real money.
yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, they're printing it.
So bad.
And that's the thing. When you're doing that and you're raising the interest rates, it's a double negative. And you have to pay the piper at some point.
A Piper's gonna come around and pop some bubbles.
Yeah, it's going to be straight to the point. When you see it, you're going to know it's what's happening. It's going to be blood in the streets, and it's going to be a dip. It's going to be a low point. That's what we want. So however it plays out, it's going to hit a quarter level down there, and you're going to be able to see it very clear because we're having the right conversations at this point.
All right. So this shutdown, they got an extension until November 17th. November 17th. So assuming that that they don't reach agreement again, the government will shut down November 17th. Everything will tank, and which is probably what's going to happen. It'll probably shut down until for 4 or 5 days, and then they'll get a deal done.
And remember, it's a cycle. This happens all the time. We just didn't know what it was. I've even heard of this stuff, but it didn't really have nothing to do with me. I didn't have nothing to really, I don't know what I was getting out of it. But now that I see what's going on, I'm living it now through my trades. So if this plays out, man, like you're going to see this again and you're going to know exactly what to do.
Just keep your thumbs on the trigger, and understand that we're expecting this stuff to keep cascading to the downside. I mean, before the government shut down and everything came out, the charts already told us that that we were heading down significantly, right? Even that billionaire, the billionaire called the top, right? So the stuff that's playing out, the theatrics that's playing out now is just theatrics.
Is that the lazy eye, that dude?
I don't know, but I mean, a couple of months ago, I think somebody said that this guy called the top, right? Y'all remember talking about that?
Oh, wasn't it, bro?
So, he wasn't. He called it like right around here.
Yeah.
So, but how he lose it? He sold it
forget.
from up there?
You talking about Sam Bankman-Fried?
I don't know who you talking about. Some billionaire with 16 billion.
I said I forget his name, but the guy that shorted the
Yeah, the big short guy, Michael something.
Michael something, I forget.
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried was the Bitcoin guy, or the
Red said Barry.
Yeah, he's the guy that lost the 16 billion overnight. But
Oh.
this other billionaire, no, he called the top. He started shorting the market, and you can see how the market has responded to that. So we expect, right? If you do a fib from here to here, it's a 78% pullback. Y'all remember us having a conversation with Selena and them to sell. If you got in up here on that sale, on that July afternoon, you're grinning like a Cheshire cat now. And your target is these lows right here. How are we going to get from way up here to these lows? Oh, by them clowns showing their ass in Washington.
You can count on it. You can count on it. This is what they do. They live for this. See, we didn't know that. Now that you know that, you see, it's a big reality TV show. We pay them to do dumb shit.
It will be a nice soft landing, that's for sure.
Super soft.
But 3 days ago, President Biden signed a stopgap bill to avert the government shutdown.
Until I just showed you the date, though, right? What date did that stopgap go to?
But I mean, that was on Sunday.
Anybody? What date did that stopgap take us to?
The 17th of November.
That's it. They fired the guy that agreed to that bill. They fired him. So without him, there is no other stopgaps that's happening. So unless they get another guy in there who will agree to do another stopgap, but by them firing the one guy that agreed to it is telling you that they're not going to put another dude in there that's going to dude in there that's going to play hardball.
That's the shit show.
Yeah, they want him to close the government down. They want him to play politics. That's basically what they're saying.
What they want Biden to.
What's that?
What do you mean they want Biden to?
Yeah, they want him to fail. Yeah.
What I was saying is that this happened on Saturday night. So
what?
I haven't been keeping up with news, and I didn't know this would be a catalyst to anything in the markets, to be fair.
Yeah. Why?
I'm slacking.
Why did you think that they said the markets were selling in the first place?
Well, I was hoping for a pullback on gold, US 30, because it's been needing a pullback, especially on the month as well.
Well, it is going to pull back. I think it'll pull back today. But I'm just telling you, big picture. We cooking with hot grease. In fact, if you have a market watch, if you get the alerts, your news from Market Watch, you'll get a email that says what McCarthy's ouster means for the markets. It says, as investors fret over DC dysfunction, they're about to cook this summer gun off, man.
Everyone's about to sell because they're scared.
Yeah, wouldn't you? If you had a bunch of money, would you leave it sitting in the stock market?
Right. You take it out and you move it somewhere else.
To gold, something that you know that is not going to cook off. And to top it off, look at where gold is.
Yeah.
You're going to take your money from there, and as soon as gold turns, you're going to buy gold. And you're going to get into gold in the 1700. This is going right back to 2000, probably 21, probably 30. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep on pushing. Gold, I have gold coming down here to this imbalance.
And remember, this money is money that's in the system. That's not new money. That's old money.
Well, they print
when
that
the new money comes, yeah, because it's going to go straight into the market. This is how they save the day. Whatever low point the market hits, they're going to print some money, and it's going to pull it out, and it's going to look like they did something to make it okay again. But really, they're doing this on purpose. If you get lucky to be there at the right time, you're going to catch the wave of it. Well, we won't be lucky anymore. We'll be doing it because we know how to do it.
Hopefully y'all are writing some of this stuff down, because this is a cycle. And you know, whenever you see this type of stuff, you'll know where to look. And truthfully, we were already calling for shorts on the US 30. I know a lot of y'all been selling those indices, right? Selling gold. The dollar's been strong. Everything that I think that we've talked about this week pretty much has happened. Maybe GU didn't do what we thought it was going to do, like initially. And gold went a little bit further down, but it's still a great setup. Look like we'll get a double bottom here, and we'll probably start pushing to the upside. We might have to adjust how high we expect it to go up based on it pushing a little bit lower. If you took one of the golden boy trades like this one, GN, you should be in good shape. If you caught GA, you should be in better shape. Did y'all take either one of these trades?
I did GN.
Are you still in it?
Yes. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm on the right side because I took the buy up.
Well, that's all. Yeah, that's the only side you can be on. Because if you're in the sell, that was last week.
Yeah, I'm still in it.
Okay, so I think though well, I'm not even. I know that those two are going to be great. The turnout, the outcome will be great. And if you look on this daily chart, right, you got the bullish order block. You'll get a pullback. We'll likely push above this old daily high tomorrow, maybe even this daily high, but we're well on our way. GA is the same thing. It's just a little bit more higher. We got this monster candle today. We ate very good. So right now in the daily chart, you can see the chalk. You expect a pullback probably to the second moving average. I don't know. You just throw the fib on this candle, get the 78% pullback. It'll be great. It'll be great for a new entry if you're already in it. If it gives you the pullback all the way, you can get you a new entry. What I did was I took profit on 2 positions and I left my original in there. So if it just keeps going up, I won't get left out of the trade. But if it pulls back, I can sell it back down and then buy the new impulse move. Marv, you say you still riding from Saturday. That's what's up.
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah. I mean, this really makes trading a lot more easy whenever it respects, kind of what you think it's going to do.
Can't get easier than that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, huh? And it's spitting out hundreds of pips, huh?
Yep, about 250 so far from Sunday.
Yeah. So this is the trade that we all talked about that didn't act right. I mean, it pushed up a little bit, but it never I mean, it just melted after that. This is Friday. I think Sunday was right here. It pushed up. It was Monday. And then the bottom fell out. Now I think, that this is going to buy. I think the gold and the dollar. I think gold and the rest of the stuff that's opposite of the dollar is going to buy. And I think the dollar is going to give us a breather. But I'm not trading this. I'm trading GN and GA. I'm actually just trading GA, but I like those setups better than this because I don't trust the dollar. Too much volatility, too much news, too much bull crap. Plus, we're already on the right side of the moving averages, and this is just trying to break through. So what I always try to get people to understand as a trader, we got plenty of time. Like on these moves that are going to go 300 pips, you can wait until it closes on the other side of the moving average before you even look to get into trade. You don't have to be risky and get into the trade down here. You can wait until it closes. Even if it goes up, like that big candle that GA gave us. Once it pulls back, then get in the trade, because you still got another 250 pips to ride up, 300 pips to ride up. So don't get rushed by, trying to catch every single pip of the move. Just verify your move. Let the move close above the moving average. Let it give you that chalk that it's trying to give you. Then let it pull back and let you in the trade. Oh, what else are y'all trading? If it doesn't respect what you have on your chart, please don't take the trade. Worst thing you can do.
You got to reiterate the fact that we say we know that, right? It has to go to the direction and pull back. That's where you enter. Do we really know that? Do we trust that? Because that's where it's at.
Exactly. It doesn't do any good to say you do, and you don't. I mean, you're either gonna trust it or you're not. And for the GA trade, if you were in this trade on Sunday, this is the Sunday trade. It pushed down. You could have waited until it pushed up, right? See how Sunday it pushed up? Now you still didn't have to enter this trade until it pulled back. Here's your entry.
That's when you load the bus up.
What's that?
When you load the bus up.
Yeah. So if this right here is a more risky play right here, right? Because you don't know if it's crossing over. You don't believe that it's crossing over. Once it closed right here, oh man, now you just throw your fib on this candle and you wait for it to pull back into your discount. You load the bus up and you take that ride, right? We broke this high. We expect, you throw a fib on this, we expect a good pullback. I want this thing to pull back. I want two good red candles. I want a red candle for Asian. I want two red candles for Asian session. And then I want that first London session candle to be big and green. Because if I get two red candles, bruh, I'm selling both of them. And then I'm buying that first that first London candle. What else y'all got?
GCAD, but it's just been consolidating.
GCAD. I think it went up, right?
A little.
We missed that move I thought we talked about that last week. Yeah, so this was the last week's move, right? Y'all waiting for it to pull back?
Right.
Okay, that's all you can do. Because you don't want to buy it at the top. You want to wait for it to pull back. But this is what I would ask you. What made this trade more attractive than GN or GA?
Well, I'm trading GN too. I have been trading GCAD on my small account because the spread wasn't the same as GN.
What about GA? GA spread is better than GN too.
Well, I wasn't trading GN. I looked at GCAD.
Okay.
Now this is that same setup where everyone's expecting it to come down and fill that in. It don't do it. It totally take off and then go over the top and then come right on back down there and get that later.
Exactly.
In
it
dramatic fashion.
It doesn't have to go down there either, because it's going to sell eventually, right? This pullback is a pullback from this big push. It needs to pull back, and it's going to eventually sell anyway. I personally, if I had gotten into this last week, then I would have been cool with being in here. But because it was already gone, I had a better entry off GN or GA, and I just chose GA. I would have not looked to trade this because of those other ones. Let me see. If I'm trading this particular pair, I might put me a limit order at 164.98. And I got to cover the 78. Now Marv said he only going to enter on the 78, but either way is fine. Maybe if you put some limit orders, maybe you want to put half here and half here. I don't know what makes sense to you, but if this is just the only pair you want to trade, my entry would not be any higher than this. And that means it could come down here and tap into the golden zone and just push up without me or whatever. But because of how it moved already, there's no way I would buy this at the top of structure. Knowing my luck, I would buy it right now, and then it falls 81 pips. I don't want to go to 81 pip drawdown. I think EC is a similar, it's a similar deal. So anybody in EA and EN? They give you everything you want. The close on the 4 hour, pull right back to your discounted zone. This wick probably here. This is the one that probably would have picked you up. And then it pushed. Man, this thing pushed all the way up. Jesus. EA ain't playing, y'all. That's because the Australian, they didn't raise the interest rate yesterday, huh? That's why you got that crazy move. Anywho, hey Rose, you trading UCAT?
Yeah.
Is it buying or selling?
Right now it's trapped, but I'm anticipating a sell.
I know that's right, because I think the GU is going to buy.
Yeah, it might. If it does buy a little bit, it'll still sell. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Man, this thing came out of nowhere too. Maybe when this pulls back, I don't know.
I mean, it gave a stop rate today on the lower time frame, but it kind of slowed down. So I'm just waiting to see what it wants to do at the moment. Oil selling, dollars going up, or dollar started to sell actually.
Yeah, the dollar should sell, but this move I like this move too.
Yeah,
because this retrace, it gave a good pullback, This new candle should be another red candle.
So I see in the news that there is OPEC news tomorrow. That should push oil, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
Or
push
no?
through the flow. Yeah, it definitely will push oil. What direction is it going to push oil?
What are they gonna say? Whether or not they're gonna release more barrels?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Yeah,
If
I
they
don't know.
are, it goes down. If they
I just-
don't, it goes up.
Well, I think it's going to, the chart suggested it's going to go down. So I don't know what they could say or what they're going to say, but I like this chart for a sale. I like the fact that we pushed down. I like that we retraced, right? This is an order block on some level.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a lower high, so maybe we go back up into this area before we sell. But I don't want to see this high get broken by this leg. I want to see it keep pushing down. But if this does get broken, then I'm not selling it. But if this low gets broken, then I'll look and see how viable it'll be to get into a sale. Dang, Australian PMI just came out. It was better than expected. That's going to start my retracement. All right, what else y'all got?
Did we find out why the JPYs dropped like that this morning? Or what?
What do you mean?
JP had a yellow folder. Also some kind of bank something.
Was it intervention?
I don't know.
Well, they did that. Okay, so the point that it dropped to apparently is the same point that they intervened last time.
And that's intervention. All they're doing, the Japanese bank is cheating.
But it dropped to the point of intervention. The intervention drove it back up.
No,
So what dropped it?
no, intervention is what drops it.
So they have monetary base yearly, which says change in total quantity of domestic currency in circulation, current account deposit, actual greater than forecast, and they have like a 5.6 as opposed to forecast 1.6.
That was during the news. It dropped during the news, was loose.
Oh, I read that backwards then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the openings was today.
Y'all see this right here?
yeah. I read that backwards.
Anytime the dollar gets at 150, for whatever reason, and this is just speculation because I don't know, but I think that for whatever reason, a dollar, if the dollar is worth $1.50, then it screws with the Japanese people, their ability to buy stuff, or maybe the inflation rate goes too high. So the bank intervenes. They don't let the dollar go that high. So what they do is they buy a bunch of yen. They're manipulating the price of the currency. Huh?
You say they buy their own money?
Yeah. The U.S., a lot of times the U.S. will help them, or Europe will help them. Like they all talk.
Well, how do you buy your own money?
Well, Me and them.
Sorry, I'm confused.
But so just imagine if you have, if all of them are in cahoots, right? The Western world is in cahoots. They can't have the Japanese economy collapse, right?
Okay.
No, because of goods.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
if Japanese tell the US or Germany, hey man, we got to intervene at 150, then everybody's gonna do what they gotta do to buy in. And they're not going to tell us when we long in US or in UJ, and then they buy it and it spikes down 150 pips. That's the only thing that's really crappy about being in a long position when prices at that 150 mark.
Gosh, the whole market's collapsing.
You said what?
And it's
Sounds terrible. The whole market's collapsing.
Well, look,
but
man,
you see where it dropped to. When you look at where it dropped to, it's the same pattern. It dropped to the order collection point. It dropped to where the bullishness. It dropped to where the impulse move began.
he dropped a whole quarter of it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's where the bullish push began. It dropped straight to that level.
On
Dang.
everywhere.
I technically had a sell. Like technical wise, I was looking at price for a sell, like literally had it all set up, but I wasn't aware of that being their level. So
we had
next
talked
time,
about it going up there, and I walked away from it. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this is what you get at 150. 150.0, 1.50, 15.00, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a special number. Yeah. And
Well,
they can
Go to a
put
higher
whatever
time frame.
they can put whatever storyline. Oh, it's Japan did this. No, it's the number. Forget about the storyline. Just the fact that that number is where you want to be. You're going to get something very special off of that. GU is $1.50. That's the midpoint, because when it gets up to $2, it's out of balance. It has to come back to 150. When GU gets down to $1, it's out of balance. It's got to go back to 150. Nobody wants to be at 150. They want to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. That's the problem with the euro. The euro got to 95 cents. It was out of balance. It had to come right back into the $1 amount. It couldn't stay at 95 cents. It's out of the balance of the system. It'll pull it back in, right? When the dollar got to 100 flat, it got to 95.5 and then whipped right back up into 100, and now we're at 107. It was out of balance. It'll keep balancing out, and then they do all the other stuff that they do to make it do these things. So it's manipulated at the same time.
so is this safe to say that this is like the top on UJ for the year? Because if we expect the dollar to sell soon, and they're already intervening, like,
No,
is it?
that's what they're telling us.
Yeah, I don't
That's
believe
what they're
that this is
telling
the
us.
top. I think the top. I think the dollar
Right.
got to go to what, $1.08 we talked about.
$1.15. I mean, in the long run.
Well, I
Right
mean for the
now, it's
pair
$1.85.
specifically. I mean for the pair specifically.
Well, I think it's going to be a tsunami effect. I think it's going to have some crazy push to the upside, and nobody's going to know up from down.
Yeah, I mean the last time it hit that level, it does have a huge wick all the way up to 152.
Yeah. Imagine that. We need to stay on this, because if something like that happens, it's going to be so fast.
Yeah,
And
it's
on the
sold
money.
so far.
But
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be anything you can do about it as far as trade wise.
what I've noticed is that when
I would protect my account. I would watch it, but I ain't trading it.
Let's see.
yeah, what I've
Hey,
noticed is that when there's price, when OG's saying price is going to go to a certain level or certain price, there's always an accelerated run to get to that price if it's not near that price, and then there's always some news or something, so it brings a storyline that, oh, the news did it, but really,
Right. Yeah.
it needed to get to that price, so the
Because
news
that's
just,
what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
the news
Definitely.
is just the storyline just to accelerate price up. Oh, it went bullish because of the news. No, it needs to
They
get to that
plant
price.
the story. They'll plant the storylines. They know how to
So-
plant the storylines because it's based on timing.
I agree with that 1,000%.
They don't.
Okay, so they're just creating liquidity right now, and they're about to wick everybody out again.
That's
just like-
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cause on October 21st of last year, they wicked everybody out.
Very
And
key.
we're in October.
21st. Mm-hmm.
That's
21st.
crazy. Makes so much sense.
That's why
Wait, so where do you see that? You saw that on the Dixie in October or what?
I'm talking about specifically UJ.
Rose, they told me to tell you that if you can't stop the liquidity, that you will be the liquidity.
That's why I haven't been trading.
I'm gonna make sure I write that down. I'm gonna get that tatted on me.
It's too high. It's too high, and it needed to pull back, and it wasn't pulling back. That bullishness was too.
It's so many other attractive pairs to trade. I'm not even doing it.
Yeah,
UJ
I don't like UJ. It's just
that
too much.
bullishness is too good to be true. Too good.
I
to
love
be true.
UJ back, in the early parts of last year. But
Mm.
when it gets up here, no, bruh, y'all can have it. I'm not trying to become part of OG's Black Swan bullshit.
His Zoom picture gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I don't care about that Black Swan. I don't want to see no Black Swan. That's OG that want to see that Black Swan. I just want to see my money.
Like,
But aren't we seeing it right now? Aren't we in the Black Swan market? Because
Well,
these events are like unheard of, aren't they?
No, I think that a Black Swan event is something that happens a lot faster.
Well, like
Oh, yeah.
COVID, like the COVID drop.
Yeah.
And everything drops, right?
I think we're setting up for one. No,
But everything is dropping. Like, look at UJ. Like, look at the Dixie going up to levels which are, we don't know what's going to happen when it gets to 110.
Yeah, but the GBPs are still all the way dropping. They're retracing right now.
But they're going to drop because they're pulling.
Yeah, they're pulling back to drop. I agree. But I thought
this
it
is the level.
like a 1 day or 2 day event where everything just drops, like a crash globally, everything. I thought that is what a Black Swan is.
Well, it's not that everything crashes. That pair can have a Black Swan and it can crash. Sometimes a Black Swan event, it takes that currency out the map.
Oh,
You just lose everything.
didn't that happen to the ruble when they invaded Ukraine?
Yeah, pretty much.
Their currency basically went to par.
I have no idea.
Imagine that, like, you're stuck. Like, when the money becomes worthless, there's nothing you can do.
Except buy gold before it happens. You can't even buy gold at that point.
At that
Can't buy
point, right?
anything.
Right. You
You
can't
gotta
buy
go mine
anything.
it. You gotta go mine it, find it.
You can't go to work because the money is not worth anything.
You gotta go barter. Get some cheese.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
You
a
can't
ranch.
sell nothing because don't nobody have no money. All
That's
the
what
money's
I'm
worth the
saying.
same.
We're
They
gonna
have
go
to
back
burn-
to trading gooses for butter. Geese. I said gooses.
To be fair, when people when
Hey, Roland,
money
I thought
becomes
you was from the
worth
same part of Mississippi
burn-
as my people when you said goofy.
Wait, what?
Oh God. What did you say, Ebony? Sorry.
oh no, I was saying that when money becomes worthless, people burn money because it's cheaper to burn the money than, or it makes more sense to burn the money than, you know, spend it because it's worthless.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
that
mean, like,
didn't it happen in like Zimbabwe or something?
I believe it. I mean, if you gotta stay warm, you gotta stay warm.
I know it happened. It happened in Germany after World War II.
Yeah. Yep. I read that too.
I didn't read that. They lied.
Didn't that happen in
Sorry.
All right,
put-
well,
In the
That's my-
Victor textbooks, so I'm just saying.
I'm out. Thank you, people. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Guess I can stop the recording.
Gold is pushing, I mean, the dollar is going bullish. If it's following